Hello, I am Serena Dugan, and I am an artist, textile designer, and retail alumni. I have most recently introduced a line of textiles, including fabrics and wallpapers, that are sold through interior design showrooms across the nation and in London. So I actually have a degree in psychology, and with the question of how did I come to this field, I always thought that I would go on to be a psychologist, but in my early 20s had a bit of a existential crisis and did a life pivot and discovered that I was creative and I wanted to explore that. So I went back to school for fine art, developed an emphasis in painting, and then when I left art school, I became a decorative painter. And that's when I would say that I really entered the world of interior design. My form of decorative painting was all freehand, original patterns created client by client, space by space. And in that way, I really started to merge my interest in psychology with art and with interiors. And I developed a very specific style and mark. And I wanted to then figure out how to translate that mark onto textiles. So I went back to study textile design. And then shortly thereafter started a line which caught the attention of my soon-to-be business partner, Lily Cantor. Lily owned an amazing nursery boutique in nearby Mill Valley, and she and I were commiserating over the lack of good options in the market in that space. And so in that same day, we joined forces and started Serena and Lily, and that was back in 2003. And so we started Serena and Lily. My role there was Chief Creative Officer and Lead Designer. And I was really free to keep expressing myself. As long as we were growing, I could really try and test and learn and grow. And so I would say that I really fully entered the interiors scene through that experience, because that was really my my training ground. It was on the battlefield, so to speak. My favorite thing about this field is that we as designers, whether it's interior design or textile design, we are creating the ingredients for an experience for people. We get to give them the ability to express themselves fully and build a bridge between beauty and mood. We get to affect people's moods and how they inhabit their space. I am in the process of launching a collection of textiles titled Serena Dugan Studio. It is 58 fabrics and 32 wallpapers, including printed grass cloths and papers. It is sold through interior design and textile showrooms across the US and in London. And I would say that it is really a reflection of my style as a textile designer. It is inspired by travel, a life spent traveling, and I really wanted it to capture the sense of timeless adventure and inspiration that I've gathered all over the world. My personal style, I have to say my style of how I dress is very similar to how I decorate. My sense of what's beautiful tends to be fairly relaxed yet expressive. I like to mix elements. I always include in every room and in every outfit, I have something in that space or on my body that tells the story of who I am. It might be my grandmother's necklace, or a piece of art that I collected while traveling. So I really like there to be something kind of patinaed and interesting and with story in how I adorn myself and how I adorn my rooms. I think I am probably known for being half of the brand Serena and Lily. It was not known who I was, whether I was a real person or that I am an artist, or that I continued to design our textiles as the company grew larger. So what would I like to be known for? I suppose at this stage in the game, it's nice to be humanized and not be the face of a brand necessarily. I would much rather be known for my craft, be known for the work that I do and my perspective and my style and my aesthetic, than being a name of something large that people recognize. Three words to describe myself. So this is hard. The words I came up with are independent, creative, and adventurous. And I phoned a friend on her three words for me. They were intentional, refined, and expressive. What inspires me? Yeah, I have a blanket answer to this question that always seems to hold true. I am inspired by creativity in all forms. I am inspired by the originals in life who take risks and who forge a new path regardless of what their medium is, whether it's visual or written. The risk takers that are really trying to express themselves in a new and independent way, that inspires me to express myself in a new and independent way. And it really, I think, pushes society forward to watch creativity in the making. Not derivative creativity, but true essential creativity. This is where I get my most juice. And of course there's travel, and of course there's fashion, and there are all kinds of sources, but nothing is as impactful to me as watching the originals really in action. How does design contribute to our well-being? I believe that design it's the process of creating visual harmony. And that can't be underestimated. Visual harmony is what allows us to feel comfortable, allows us to feel in sync with our environment. And design is really the act of putting things together in an order that is aesthetically pleasing and functional. And I understand and I really respect the function of aesthetics in our surroundings. It goes beyond what's superfluous, and it allows you to feel comfortable. It allows you to feel happy and elevated and at home. So I'm a fan.